G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam Tennis, coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open, live in Melbourne, live at Melbourne Park, and being based in Melbourne, produced by Wise Words Media. And today you are joining us for an audio style radio. You are joining us, let me get that right. You are joining us for an audio only radio style commentary. Well, you've got to admit, what a week, first week of the Australian Open 2025, what a week it's been for the Americans. So I reckon we need to talk about the Yanks, the blokes in the singles, the USA blokes. What is going on? Is it just me, or is USA tennis on the verge of a resurgence? Are they heading towards the glory days of Sampras, Agassi, Courier, just to name a few? Have I missed anyone? So there's been eye-catching performances in week one Australian Open 2025 that seems to suggest there's not something in the water. Learner Tien, Alex Michelson, Tristan Boyer, notwithstanding the departure of Taylor Fritz, a deeply embedded top 20 player of recent years. Oh, don't forget Francis Tiafoe. He threw up on court during his round one match and still won. What great results for these USA blokes, eh? American tennis fans must be cock-a-hoop, and why not? And it's only January after all, bloody hell. And I say this begrudgingly to the Yanks, because as of week one, Saturday night, only the Demon, he is the sole Aussie left alone in men's and women's singles in the main draw of the Australian Open 2025, the first Grand Slam of the year. And even the Demon was driven to distraction in his match against Tristan Boyer, who took the opening set off the hard sprinting, fastest bloke around the court in the top 10 in the world. And guess who he's playing Monday week two? Guess who, go on, guess who the Demon is playing Monday, tomorrow, week two? Well, it's only Alex Michelson. He went through Stefanos Tsitsipas and Karen Khachanov like King Arthur and the Black Knight. That is 2 top 20 seeds in a row, if you don't mind, umpire. So no wonder the Yanks are grinning from ear to ear, coast to coast. Well, good on them, we say. Oh, you don't think so? Andre Rublev, gone, beaten by an American. Stefanos Tsitsipas, gone, beaten by an American. Daniil Medvedev, gone, beaten by an American. So this Australian Open life, we're a little bit intrigued. And so much so we've been doing a bit of digging around behind the scenes to try and get a handle on how these amazing and frankly thrilling and encouraging performances have come to be. And I say encouraging because that's what we want at elite level men's tennis. We want the Yanks back up there, strutting around, showing us their game, winning Grand Slams, jumping into the Yarra to celebrate. Coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open at Melbourne Park, produced by Wise Words Media. This Australian Open Life, we're based in Melbourne, Australia, bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis and all things Melbourne, all things Australian Open 2025. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through the Australian Open wildcards awarded to the Aussies, the rising young stars with Grand Slam dreams ahead of them. But so let's get serious and get straighten up a bit. The Yanks have been getting their house in order, and the last 10 years, the work they're doing at academy level is starting to pay off. One academy well known in tennis circles, in American tennis circles, ran from 2012 to 2018 in Georgia, USA. And the word on the street is you can see the numbers of people, players coming through. And this academy in Georgia was just one of 5 in quite a small area. There were others. One is the well-known Lifetime Fitness Academy. It was right around the corner from the one we're talking about, which is where Donald Young and Taylor Townsend were training. And then at the next academy, you've got spit it out. You've got Robbie Ginepri, very well-known men's singles player for the Americans. He's now looking after Alex Michelson. Now, Ginepri is up in a place called Marietta in Georgia, and he's coaching a whole host of other players. And this is just one part of Georgia, which is just one state of 50, stating the obvious. And so what do you draw from all that? Well, it's a numbers game. Like everything else, it's a numbers game. So there's just, according to those in the know in American tennis, there is just so many people playing tennis after COVID. There's just so many options for training and the choices of academies you've got. And now it's becoming so competitive at USA national level, USA regional level, USA state level, even college level in the USA. And if there's one thing in Americans, in their DNA, they're competitive, aren't they? So what do you draw from all that? It's all anecdotal. Well, it's not anecdotal. We've been doing our research, but was this inevitable? And the answer is most say yes, it's inevitable. In fact, those in the know, and we're talking about USA tennis professionals, professionals on the tour, and USA tennis journos and commentators, they say exactly as such. In their opinion, you could see all this coming for the last 10 years. Enormous amounts of effort that have been invested. So let's wind back a bit. It started with Taylor Fritz, Francis Tiafoe, Tommy Paul, Riley Pelka. And now, as we've seen in week 1, Australian Open 2025, now you've got this young group coming along. Learner Tien, Tristan Boyer, Michelle Beretti, Alex Michelson. It's just one after the other. Now, the Yanks who know what they're talking about behind the scenes guarantee there's 10 more coming up through the ranks just behind all those guys we just named. Well, if this is a sure sign of things to come, the Americans over the next decade or two could well be back at the top, dominating men's singles Grand Slam tennis. Now, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Okay, don't. But fast facts trivia time, and we'll leave you with this. Learner Tien, the young American who put out Tsitsipas, and who else did he get rid of in the second round? It's just gone out of my head. Medvedev, how could I forget? Learner Tien is the youngest American man to reach the Australian Open's third round since Pete Sampras in 1990. And we all know what happened next, don't you? Sampras went on to win 19 Grand Slams. So let that settle in for a second. Okay, I'm going to admit that Lerner is now in a dream part of the draw. His last match, he defeated an unseeded French player. Tien is unseeded. Next up for Learner Tien is another unseeded player, Sonego, the Italian. And don't get me started about the strength of Italian tennis, please, either. So what do you think? Have you been thinking about men's tennis, USA men's tennis this week? Have you been wondering why these blokes from America have been popping up in week 1? And is it a surprise? Has it caught you by surprise? Are you an Australian tennis fan? Because normally here at this Australian Open Life, we like to focus on the Aussies, the up-and-comers, the wild cards, the qualifiers, but we also like to focus on the lesser-known players. And you've got to admit, Tien, Michelson, Boyer, these guys, they're not very well known. In fact, I'd never heard of the 3 of them before week 1 of the Australian Open. And of those guys, only Boyer went through qualifying, actually, before he ran up against Alex de Minaur. So join the conversation. Let us know what you think. Are we on the right track? Are the American experts, do they know what they're talking about? Or is it a bit of a scary thought? This week 1, first week of Australian Open 2025, are we on the right track? Or is week 1 Australian Open 2025 just a sweet blip in the scheme of things for USA men's tennis? Time will tell, eh? Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye for now. Hang on a second, did we say there's other information about ground passes? Yes, there is. So stick around with this Australian Open Life. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on the rising Australian stars at the Australian Open 2025, the wild cards. And that's what we love at this Australian Open Life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. And so that's where we'll leave you here on Court 14, the men's qualifying singles match, second round between the 7th qualifying seed, Alexander Kovacevic, the American. He's currently down 5-1 in the third set against Gauthier Onslin of Belgium. The match time has been 2 hours 14. The American serving sometimes around the 203 kilometre mark, but that second serve was 164 kilometres. And we will let you know what the result is in due course, as the Americans 15 all on his service game. But that's all for now. This Australian Open Life produced by Wise Words Media. We're based in Melbourne, Australia. We are experts on all things Melbourne Park and all things Australian Open 2025. Bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching whatever I'm playing over the top of this audio-only radio-style commentary. You're listening to the bloke who walks. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.